Beyond the river, neath the cross a watching wave, opening, blasting era, till thy reach the golden strand, just beyond the river, in the cross, in the cross, be my glory ever, till my wretched soul shall find rest beyond the river.
And every workshop that is specifically aimed at those that are in adulthood. Mr. Kanigoli, pray for us. Okay. Let us pray. Lord Father, word of God, we thank you for this night. Thank you, God, for the Sabbath you have given to us. And thank you that we come in this place to continue worshiping you. As we are start our evening session, we pray that the Spirit be with us, and especially to open our hearts, so that whatever the preacher is going to preach, we understand in the name of Jesus and God. Amen.
Amen.
Over to you, Bishop.
All right. Done so far. What stood out for you? What do you remember from the presentations we did this morning? Is there anything that stood out for you? Anything you still remember from the presentation today? Sorry? PTA, okay. Whatever that means. There we go. Doing for some of you where you had skipped it. Anybody else? What else do we remember? Okay. All right. All right. Any other thing that you remember? Okay. All right. As for me and my house to serve the Lord. Anything else that we remember from? Yes, ma'am.
These 5 levels of communication.
5 levels of communication. Anyone who still remember them? What is number 1? What is the first one? Nobody remembers. Yes, ma'am. Okay. The first one is the acquaintance level. What is the next number 2? Sorry? Okay. All right. Who else wants to? Number 2? Sorry? Blaming, judging, and condemning. That's aggressive communication. Right? Anybody else? It's a push or a pull. So every time you're talking to someone, you are either pulling them close to you, or he loses the business. He loses even the respect. In fact, somebody says black women only respect the money in the man. As soon as the money goes, so goes the respect. So that's why I believe the vow for richer, for poorer was for us. What about money? Because money is power, it's greatness, it's beauty. You know, when you've got money, even among your relatives, you're great. They will never have a family meeting without you. Even if you are the last born, you ask them, when is the funeral happening of the old man? No, we're waiting for Mashudu to arrive. Even though he's the last born, other 7 brothers are here. So we want money so that we can have respect even among our relatives. So somebody says, in the black families, if you don't work, they think your brains don't work. So they don't listen to you. So most of the time we want money so that even our relatives can honor us. Women, ladies, it's beauty. If you've got money, you can look good. You know, you can go there and they can work on your hairstyle. And if it fails, they can get other people's hair onto your head. So money is beauty. You know? So that's why we need money. What about money? Because the more money you have, the more blessed you look. You know, when people look at you even at church, whatever car you're driving or whatever things, they say that person is blessed. You know, if you've got a family where there is peace and joy, you just love each other, the children are obedient and everything else, nobody will ever say you're blessed. They want you to cash the blessings first. So we want money so that even at the church, because it's difficult in the Adventist church to be an elder when you don't have a nice car. Okay. Or to be an elder when you're not a manager or something serious at work. It doesn't matter how much you pray, you don't care. You must have some serious position for us to elect you. So we want money so that even the church can take you serious. You know, if you've got a lot of money, you can the pastor will know your address where you stay. But if you don't have money, my friend, we're gonna send you the deacons. So even at church, we want money. So we cannot escape the concept of money. Let's talk about family finances and family happiness. The two things are closely related. I'm not saying family wealth. I'm saying family finances and closely related to family happiness. It's not the amount of money that you have. It's your ability to manage what you have and to live within your means. That's what brings happiness. Right? So there are many people who live above their means and therefore they cannot manage their finances and they end up miserable. It's found in the book called Unleashing the Marriage Potential. That's why I'm not giving the notes because I wrote the book. So you'll find it there. You can get yourself a copy. You'll find everything in there. Now, when we look into the issue of money, how much money is enough? So a reporter went to J.D. Rockefeller. At that time, Rockefeller was the richest man in the world. So the reporter says to Rockefeller, how much money is enough? Rockefeller said, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. It doesn't matter how much money you earn. All of us will think just a little bit more. If I can just get a little bit more, my budget will work. However, marriage, family happiness should not be determined by how much more. If you suddenly get double, you move from the combined income of 10,000 to 20,000. Do you know what will happen? You will adjust your lifestyle to 20,000. That means the clothes that you were wearing before, or you were buying from some Pakistani or whatever place, you now go to Edgar's. You move up. If the little flat you were staying in is no longer good enough, you move to another area. So I can give you, in 3 months, you will be broke at 20,000 at the end of the month, as you were at 10,000. You see, nobody says we used to live at 10,000. So why don't we just live now on 15 so that the other 5 we put aside? No. We live at the maximum of what we have. Even if you can get a double that and you have a combined income of 50,000, the little car that you used to have is not good enough. You're going to upgrade. You're going to upgrade everything. The schools that the children used to go to, they can't go to that level of a school. Now they must go to Curo or the other expensive places. And then by the end of the month, you will be broke at 50,000 as you were at 10,000. Even if you get to 100,000, the same thing. You're going to move far away from your current neighborhood and go and live at another place where the rates and taxes are higher or the levies are higher, and you will be broke at the end of the month when you're earning 100,000 as you were at 10,000. In fact, when you're broke, when you earn 100,000, you get broke also in a bigger way. You see, when you earn 10,000, when you're broke, you say, hey, can I just have 200 rand? 200 rand. If you are broke at 100,000, I just need 20K, because now you're broke in a bigger way. So it's not about how much you earn. It's about living below your means. To say, this is how much I earn, and we're going to live here. And if you are able to do this, you're going to find happiness. So there are people who are living on a combined income of 10,000 who are happy. More than 50% of all people who are working are drowning in debt. You see, I'm not talking about people who missed 1 or 2 installments. No, more than 50% of us. That means 50% of us who are here, we are drowning in debt if you are in South Africa. And why is that? Because it is easy to get into debt. It's easy to get into debt. If you are a white-collar worker, there's credit cards, overdraft, personal loans. They are ready to make you broke very quickly. If you're a blue-collar worker, there is Woma Chonisa at every corner to make sure that you get broke. And unfortunately, there seems to be a status attached with the size of debt that you have. It's like when you have got a bigger debt, people think you're more powerful. So if somebody rolls into the car, into the church, with a car which they got through debt of 1 million rand, people will be saying, wow, that's so powerful. The Lord is blessing that man. Did you see the car he's driving? What kind of God will bless you with a debt of 1 million rand that is on wheels? That can be written off at any time. And now you expect us to come and congratulate you for the car you don't own, which belongs to Bank Fin, West Bank, or all of those gang. Do you want us to congratulate West Bank for the accusation that they have? Right? And you see, you don't come to me and say, I must congratulate you, I must pray for the car, bless you. No, as the Archbishop of the people, I only want to see registration papers first before I bless your car. Otherwise, I'm blessing Bank Fin's car or West Bank or one of those other ones, Standard Bank Credit or Finance, whatever they're called. So, but we are excited about debt. You know, we live on debt, we eat debt, we wear debt, we live inside debt. Everything around us is debt. And unfortunately, and this happens quite often with our young people. I consider myself no longer to be young since I'm 55 years old, so I'm an old man. So I have seen it all. Now, it is important. So there's a young man who can afford a little car, some little thing, maybe a Tata Indica with an installment of 3.5 or something. But if he buys that car, people will not see and respect him and whatever. So he goes and buys a car with the installment of 5,000. The 1.5 he doesn't have, but he is moving it from credit card or overdraft, and he's hoping that he's going to get an increase, and then that will balance out, or the bonus money will come and pay up for this. So every month he's digging a hole of 1.5 that he doesn't have. He pushes that, moving money around, juggling around for a year. After a year, he can no longer keep up with the installments. He starts missing the installments. And they come and repossess the car. And that's when he no longer wants to come to church. Because he comes the first time with the Uber. Hi, my car is at service. And actually that car, I never really liked it. It was giving me lots of problems. Excuses. Because you wanted to impress us. You can't impress us. We have seen it all. Right? So many of us are getting into debt to impress the people around us who don't even care about us. To show them at church, the one who disrespected you, that you too have arrived. You are a somebody by living in debt. A young man came to me who was doing counseling. He says to me, he runs a branch in Pretoria, small branch around Pretoria, I don't think Pretoria West, a West Bank branch. He says his small branch repossesses 5 to 6 cars every day. Every day. He's repossessing. And now they're taking cars in the mall because now you are hiding around with the people's car, you're parking it at your friend's place. So they follow the tracker and find it at the mall and take their car there. So debt is a modern day slavery. and it's a killer of many marriages. Because it is fine when you are still able to pay the debt, when you're getting into this debt and going to that. As soon as you cannot keep up with the debt, you start getting letters of demand. The blame game starts. You are the one who wanted to buy this one. You are the one who said we must do this one. You are the one. And we start doing like this, accusing each other and so on. And because it's not easy to come out of debt, it takes time. So this environment at home becomes permanent. So every other day, somebody is, there is this letter of demand, is whatever. We are blaming each other. We are attacking each other. So home does no longer become nice to be. And because home is no longer nice, we try to avoid being at home. You hang around working late at work or hanging around with the friends. And sometimes you just want to talk to somebody where you're not talking about problems of, did you pay the school fees? The principal called. You have not paid up. You said you were going to pay yesterday. You want to talk to somebody without whom you're not talking about debts and so on. So you end up talking to a colleague. Unknowingly, over time, the bond develops. You find that you have got better understanding of each other, and an affair starts. And people say the marriage was killed by infidelity. No, it wasn't killed by infidelity. It was actually killed by money. Infidelity does not kill marriages. Infidelity comes when the marriages have died. And I will explain. Infidelity is like worms on a carcass. They come after death. Every time you see infidelity, you must know that there is either the death of the marriage or the death of the person spiritually, or both. Infidelity comes after death. It's the death of the marriage, death of a person spiritually, or both. And in many of these cases, finances. So they are opportunistic, these worms. They come, whether they are fat worms or skinny worms, whatever it is, they come after death. Every time. That's why there is no sense in saying, leave my husband alone or leave my wife alone. You are like somebody who takes doom to spray on worms that is on the carcass, hoping that killing the worms will resuscitate the body. In fact, more worms just come out because the thing is rotten and stinking. And in some cases, it is the finances that killed our marriages. You see, I know, in the Marriage Act in South Africa allows divorce on 3 grounds. And infidelity is one of them. And I feel like we shouldn't have even been including it there. We should have found out what really happened, because infidelity is a byproduct of death. Death, marriage, death of spirituality. That's why, to prove your marriage of infidelity, keep your marriage alive. Keep it fresh. Keep it exciting. And stay connected to Christ. That's the way, growing spiritually, because anything that stops growing, it ends up dying. So let's go back to money. Debt. What are you doing with it? What is debt? Debt is like, I'm standing here, but I'm not happy with where I am standing here. I want to stand higher. I want to stand higher. So what do? I dig a hole in tomorrow and put the soil here so that I can stand higher. When I get to tomorrow, there is a hole that is deep. Just to level up, I must dig the next day. Just to level up. If I want to go higher again, I must dig further down on tomorrow. And it goes on deeper and deeper. So, debt is stealing or borrowing from tomorrow's happiness so that I can have more happiness today. So I'm saying tomorrow, I know tomorrow I was gonna, you see, if today I'm having sadza and whatever, vegetables, but I want to be excited today. So I borrow from tomorrow some money so that I can have meat today. When I get to tomorrow, there's already a hole because I wanted excitement here. I wanted more happiness. So we keep on digging and digging. And that's what eventually happens to us. So, as I said, debt is modern day slavery. It is a killer of marriages and it brings a lot of unhappiness. You must run away from debt like you are running away from leprosy. Starting with toxic debt. Toxic debt are, credit cards, overdrafts, personal loans, those things of buying clothes on on cards, the clothes that they give you at the shop at different shops. You start by those are all toxic debts. Start by removing those. In fact, as a church, there is a need to have a Sunday service where you bring all your cards from Edgar's, Foshini, and whatever, and sacrifice them in a fire in the name of Jesus and offer them. And you liberate yourself because otherwise those things are killing you. Look at those of you who are working. Whether you get paid on the 25th or on the 1st of the month or wherever you get paid, you don't even see the money. By the time it lands, it's gone. All of the people who owe it, they come and take their money. So money just visits you and it doesn't stay. It's not a very good visitor. From there it disappears. And that's debt. Then work on removing what they call healthy debt. Healthy debt will be a bond, it will be a car finance, there will be more healthier debt. Work on removing those. Liberate yourself from all of those things. Then you will find that your home is much more full of happiness. Like, so some years ago, I think 2008, I decided that I will never have any debt. Just gonna close down any debt that I have. At that time, I had only one debt, that was a bond. I decided I was gonna close all of that. And I've never had loans since 2008. Can you imagine a preacher of righteousness like me coming to preach salvation here, wearing a suit from Edgar's that has not been paid yet? How can I preach salvation when I am oppressed myself? If you look into my wallet, you'll find only one card. I don't owe anybody anything. I wait until I've got money. I buy what I need to buy. Otherwise, I live a debt-free life. There's no debit orders competing for me. Some two young men came to me and they said to me, we just want to find out, how did you come out of the rat race? How did you come out? Because we knew you were very much ahead. I said, how did you come out? I said to them, I decided that I'm going to go around preaching the gospel. But I can't do that when I've got 1,001 debts. So I went on to pay up all the debts that I know I have. Pay up. And now I figured out I probably only need to work one week in the month. The other 3 I can be preaching. Because the 1 week I work in the month, I can pay up whatever I need to take care of family and everything else. The rest I can be preaching the gospel. I said, if I had decided the edge of saying I want to be there, I mean, I drive a very old BMW, and my friends will have been saying, have you seen the new one, the latest one, this and that? I said, I actually went to Munich, Bavaria Motors, and I saw they've got a museum of all the BMWs that they've made. Do you know that there's no significant development that has happened in the car? They had an automatic gearbox way back in the 60s and 50s. They had electric windows in the 60s. So all of the things that are there, they say this features, they are just there to take your money. There is nothing that they're doing. And and because we have got fragile egos, we want to be seen, to be like successful. Because to many of us, the appearance of success, it's more important than success itself. The fact that I look like I'm successful is more important. That's how we get into the debt, just to look successful. Right? So that people in my village can know that I have come out now. Yeah, I have made it. It's costing me monthly so that my villagers can know. Right? And that's why we need emancipation of our brains, our thinking patterns. I always say to young people who come for me for premarital counseling, I said, if you're going to make it, stop competing with others. Live at your own place. You get married, you've got a 1-bedroom apartment, stay there until you've got enough money to go to a 2-bedroom. Stay there. If you've got a couch at home and now it's broken, get a blanket, cover it nicely. You don't owe anybody a new couch. Anyone who complains, they can buy you a couch. All right? If they don't want to come and visit, that's fine. They must bring their own chairs. All right? There is nothing killing young people and their marriages like competing with each other. You're competing with the people whom you don't know their sources of income. Oh, because they've bought this, they've done that, I must also do that, I must also do that. And in the process of that, our marriages are dying because it's been killed by debts and our competition with it. So kill debt before it kills your marriage and your family. Stay out of that thing as much as you can. The more you liberate yourself, the better you become. All right. So let's talk about this, run their finances. Number one, joint account with joint management responsibilities. So the two people, if they're both working, they put their money into one account, joint account, and joint management. At the end of the month, they go and sit together, they pay up this and pay up this, and they do like that together. A very good thing for those who are just married, because it helps you to see what's happening in your finances. Number two, joint account with one person responsible for managing finances. So you still use one account, but there is one person who sits down at the month and paid this and paid that and so on, and just inform the other person this is what is happening. Number three, separate accounts with joint management responsibilities. So money still comes to the two different accounts, but at the end of the month, we sit down, and from this account we pay this and this, from this account we pay this and that. Separate accounts with separate with joint management responsibilities. Number 4, separate accounts with separate assigned responsibilities. So the money comes to different account. We decide equitably that you are going to pay for groceries, you're going to pay for school fees and pay for this, you're going to pay for the car, you're going to pay for the rent, and so on and so on, equitably, based on the income. So people always ask me, which one is the best one? I say it depends on where you are. For those of you who are new in marriage, I will recommend number 1 and number 3. So, which is joint account with joint management responsibilities, or separate accounts with joint management responsibilities. You still sit down and work together because money is responsible for separating many people. Then there is a discouraged model. The discouraged model is a 50-50 model. The 50-50 model is where you say, how much do we need to run the budget of this house? We said 20,000. You bring 10,000, you bring 10. That's not a marriage model. That's a cohabiting model. Right? Where we must contribute equitably because we are not one. Because there is somebody who earns 12,000, so they must bring 10,000 and remain with 2,000 for themselves, whereas another one earns 20,000, so they bring 10, they remain with 10,000 and so. But marriage is about oneness, so it's discouraged model. Now let's talk about principles for managing family finances. Principles for managing family finances. Number 1, understand that God is ultimately the provider for our families. God is the provider. The man is not a provider. I know we've said that. The woman is not a provider. God is a provider. God can provide through the man. It's a channel. Or he can provide through the channel of the wife. And sometimes when both are not working, God can still find a way of providing. So understand that God is ultimately the provider. The problem that we have is that is that your husband? Yeah, wake him up because the train might leave him behind. So number 1, God is ultimately the provider. The problem that we have in marriage is that we think we are providers. We think it's my money. And if I think it is my money, and you don't work, you must beg for my money because it's mine. Right? And many men are very abusive, particularly if the wife is not working or she's working a lower job. Many men are abusive because of that. It's my money. It's not your money. And if you are abusive as a man, you must know that marriage life is long and God has got a sense of humor. Because God can close the man's channel and open the wife's channel. So now if as a man, when I am working, you had to come and beg money for sanitary pads, for whatever. Now that my channel is closed, so I must be the one going to beg to say, my wife, I needed like 100 rand for petrol or whatever. However, if when I was the man and I was the channel, I said to my wife, Here is what God has blessed us with. Even if you are not working, you've got equal share because that's what God has blessed us with. And you must understand something. Maybe the wife does not work on how we run our family finances. All right. Um, Now, I heard of a story of a man. He was very abusive financially when the wife was not working. Eventually, the wife got a job and she started working. And God did something amazing. He didn't close the men's channel. He just opened the wife's channel recklessly, like he doesn't care. He just opened it like that. And it was pouring down. It's like it's overflowing now. She's earning like 5 times what the man earns. And then the man says, my wife, I think we must do a joint budget now as a family. And she was a Christian woman. She was not vindictive. She was not like mean or cruel. She was a loving Adventist woman. She says, my husband, I understand, but please take your envelope, put it on top of the fridge. Children will use that for pocket money. And come, let's discuss real money. So, she was not vindictive. She was a Christian woman. You know, she just says, come, let's discuss the real money here. So that's one thing we must always remember. Number two,